This is a quick real estate update from Jere Metcalf Partners, real estate agents on the ground in Atlanta. We're talking about what it's like, what to expect, the pros, the cons, and what to consider to align yourself and your loved ones for the best opportunities. All right, everybody, good to see y'all. Every time we've gone live, like not public, this is legitimate today, so it's fun. JMPartners, Atlanta home market Eavesdrop. We're going to talk about, obviously, we've given you the stats. It's a hot market. Prices are up 20%. Inventory is down. Supply is down to almost only 1 month. Days on market are like, I think 11 days right now, maybe 12. But let's also talk about what to do and not to do, or we called it the 3 almost free ways to maximize your home's sale price. Should I announce them and then we'll go through them?
Yes.
Number 1, declutter. That's free. Depends on who it is. Number 2 is paint. That costs money, but for the return, it's like, you're talking like 100%, like tenfold return on what you put in. You spent $5,000 to paint, you're going to get potentially 50, 100 or more back on the house. And then lighting, like literally by lighting, we've talked in the past about sconces, light fixtures, but we're talking even just like the light bulbs and making sure you have the right kind of light and the right light in the house. So declutter, paint, and lighting. Anybody want to start on, Bridgett, you had some great examples, I think, earlier on some topics about what we've done and things that have happened with our clients and the differences they've made. We want to hit on decluttering first?
Well, my examples were on decluttering, but I actually help my clients declutter if they need it. So I'm a big proponent of decluttering. I did that this week, actually. I went in and helped.
I was going to say, like yesterday.
It's important, and I'll get in it with you if it needs to happen. Adam, did you have a decluttering experience where somebody didn't declutter?
I mean, 3 don'ts, don't not declutter.
You have to declutter. I mean, almost every house we go into, we're always, I mean, maybe not almost every house, but we'll go in and just look at it. And it's like, there are always things that could be moved, furniture that can be going to different places, put it in storage or put it in an attic, put it in another space to make the room feel a little bit more open. I mean, it just helps so much.
And I'll add to that before we move on to the next one. Anytime we go in as agents to declutter, it's like, people are like, seriously, this is my home, I have to live here. And the reality is, well, then you will. Or you'll sell your house for a lot less money. The goal is to get you out of there. And part of that is think of what we see, like when the people who declutter like they're moving out, or the people who do end up moving out and getting the maximum dollar for their property. Next is, go ahead, Adam.
I was saying it's not always about what you like, it's what everybody else is going to like. So you have to think about what the market's going to like when they're coming into your house, not necessarily what you like.
Barbara Corcoran, everybody wants what everybody wants, especially when your house is for sale. Reminds me of last week. We had 2 different clients recently. We had to take Picassos and remove them from the listing to make them sell for more money, which is mind-blowing. I know, everybody, but it's true. We had them in Santa Barbara and in Atlanta. We've had clients that did that and got a better return and better showings and better pricing. Painting. That's a big one. So I think a lot of people say, God, really, like I got to move my furniture and paint. And that is not necessarily the cheapest thing to do, but it's the cheapest way to make a house look, feel new, and renovated and brighten it up. Do you guys have any short stories we want to share on that one?
Well, I've had clients who didn't paint and it cost them, and it came out in the end where it was obvious that it cost them money, and we never want that to happen. And I'll talk to the light bulbs in a minute on that same client. But truth be told, paint makes a huge difference. I mean, I've got clients right now who are painting a stairwell, which sounds crazy because you're like, why does it matter? It matters. It matters. You want it light and bright and airy. And if this paint is dark, it's not as good. It's not going to sell as well. It's going to feel very closed in.
You'd also be surprised on, even if you painted a few years ago, putting a fresh coat on it, how much more that actually will lighten it up. You don't realize over time that the color starts to fade a little bit with the light and living in and out the house, especially with kids in the house. Things get a little bit dingy looking, and just a fresh coat of paint will really stand out.
It makes a huge difference.
Well, and there are two things about the paint that y'all reminded me of. And one is it's all in the details. The smallest, even Tony Robbins says, for you Tony Robbins fans, and even if you're not, he's got something going on. The greatest plastic surgeons or the greatest experts or the greatest differences are the smallest. He has a story about a plastic surgeon. That's why I said plastic surgeon there, everybody. But like, it's sometimes you think it's this huge thing you got to do to make this big difference. And it's literally like something as small as like in the painting, when you paint, it covers up the scuff marks. It covers up the little things that send the subliminal messages to a buyer that maybe this house is too beaten up for me, as opposed to, wow, look at this house. Look at how crisp, look at how clean. And by the way, the smell of the paint. There's something in that paint. Buyers want to pay more money when it smells like paint.
Smells new.
And color. It's got to be the right color. It's got to be, sometimes unfortunately have people who have painted the house. And when we, through the years, I mean, we're talking between the three of us, half a century of working with sellers but I just painted it. But when it's not painted the right color, or the color everybody wants what everybody wants, the feedback ends up being such that we miss the market. We've got to go back. And today's biggest color, it has been for a few years, I know for those of you who are in the know, is the Dove White. That is a big color. Before we close out on this though, everybody listening to trends and things to do, I think something important to add on to the white and how trendy that is on homes outside and inside. There's another trend that's becoming more and more prevalent. You spoke to that a little bit, Bridgett, on textures, walls, accents, and something we had a client do that really made a house pop and sell really quickly.
Well, she did an accent wall. So it was a client who did an accent wall herself. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, but I mean, it was like something that you would have thought would have been $20,000. Yeah.
Well, she probably didn't think it was so simple, but she's into that. And so and it looked spectacular. It completely transformed the living room. So that being the accent wall, but I did touch on the light bulbs. Light bulbs are big, they're huge. To that same home that had painted the entire house the wrong color, I went in and just changed out all the light bulbs from yellow to daylight.
So Chuck, let's slow down for a minute. So number one, declutter. Number two, paint. Number three, light. And to Bridgett, keep going, Bridgett. Light bulbs. Like light fixtures are huge, but even if you just do light bulbs, go back to why, Bridgett, and give us your example.
And that's what happened. So it was filled with cans, and they end up being it just made everything dark. And so we went in and put all daylight light bulbs. We removed every single yellow light bulb in the entire house and put in all daylight light bulbs. And it made a world of difference. We got an offer that weekend, and this had been on the market for like a month or more.
Make sure all the light bulbs match.
Yes.
Yes. Smallest things make biggest differences. The light bulbs, the daylight light bulbs, and Adam, making sure they match. The light bulbs not only are good for showings, but they make the biggest difference for photography, like the biggest. We should have had we're gonna have to start doing like the backdrops where we can show like long light bulbs.
I know.
Right. Like
I'm not going to get some before and afters of my next listing for that purpose, because that's what we're doing.
And one of the biggest things we get on feedback on listings when they're not selling well is usually when it's cluttered, people don't think that it's cluttered. They just think that they don't like it. But the other one is light, is that feedback is the house is too dark. We gave a story, I think it was 2 weeks ago, a house that literally the last person before we painted and staged was like, this house is too dark. They walked in the front door and wouldn't look at the rest. We took it off, hold status, fixed it up. First person that walked in the door bought it and couldn't believe how bright and light it was for a paint job. Big differences. Little things make the biggest differences. All right, let's sum that up. So, 3, I love our name, Bridgett. I think you came up, or it was between Bridgett, we came up with the first half, and Adam came up with the last half. But the 3 almost free ways to maximize your home's sale price. Number 1, declutter. Number 2, paint. And number 3, get your lighting right. Thanks for listening, y'all.
Have a great week.
Oh, we have to make a special announcement. This will be officially a podcast on every platform you can pull podcasts on. If you guys want to look back, what's been happening, get a subscription, keep updated on what's going from trends to market data, and anything you want to know, you guys let us know. Talk to y'all soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the JMPartners Atlanta Market Eavesdrop. If you like what you heard, please subscribe and share with your friends who might be moving or who just want to keep up with the latest in the Atlanta residential market. You can find us anytime online at jmpartners.io.